Abigail, listen to this. I've become pregnant!
Congratulations, Nora. So when are you expecting to have the baby?
Fall this year is what the doctor was saying. So around that time, I'm thinking of coming back home to Mom and Dad's house to have the baby.
Now that you mention it, your husband tends to go on a lot of business trips, right? I'm sure being back home with the family will make both you and your husband a lot more comfortable when you're close to having the baby.
That's what we were thinking. So, for the sake of having me back home, would you mind leaving the house and making room for me? I would really like to be back at the parents' house without being all too stressed about anything.
What?
You happen to work at the hospital right now, correct?
That's right, but not as a nurse or anything. I just work in the office and at the front desk.
But as someone who is working at the front desk a lot of the time, you see the most sick people, right? You have to be in contact with all those sick and unhealthy people every single day, right? I wouldn't want to come back to a house where some dirty person who works with all those sick people is living.
Dirty person?
That's right. You seem like a really dirty person to me. Your whole body is probably covered in all kinds of germs, right?
My whole body?
This will be my first time having a baby, so I'm a bit worried about all those germs you have. And ever since I was a little girl, I've always been able to get sick really easily. So I really don't want to be around those that don't take care of themselves well enough. If there were ever to be something bad that happened to myself or my baby because of you, would you really be able to take responsibility for all of that? I'm sure you wouldn't want that on your shoulders, right?
I happen to work in the offices primarily, so I don't see all too many of sick patients. And on the off chance I did come into contact with something bad, I make sure to clean my hands and face very thoroughly every day. There's also never been a moment where I've come home and gotten others sick due to a virus from work. So asking me to leave the house because I work in the hospital is a bit...
Huh? I'm not asking for your opinion on this. I'm just worried about having you in the house in general, and that gets me stressed out. If the pregnant woman is asking you to get out of the house, then your only choice is to leave.
Come on now, Nora.
You have been living with my parents this whole time, right? I'm sure that means you've been able to save up loads of money, considering you don't have to pay to stay with them. So you can use that money to get yourself a place and be out of their house. Now get to it and start gathering your things in order to get out before I arrive.
Excuse me, Hazel. I have something to ask you about Nora. You heard about how she's pregnant now, right?
Ah, this is perfect timing, Abigail. I was just on the phone with Nora a second ago, talking with her about how she's wanting to come back to the house. I was just wondering if you'd be on board with something like this. I'm sorry to ask you this, but would it be all right if she came home and had her baby here?
I don't mind something like that at all. This happens to be her parents' house after all, so she has a right to come back here. But before she comes back here, is it really okay for me to leave this house? I'm thinking that before she comes back here to have her baby, it would be best if I stopped living with you.
What? Why would you say something like that all of a sudden?
Actually, it seems that Nora is a bit upset about the kind of work that I do. I was just texting her a little bit ago about all of this. She seems to think that because I work for the hospital, I'm covered in all sorts of germs, and that's not making her feel safe. Because of that, she asked that I leave the house so that she could come home and not be worried.
Excuse me?
As of right now, I'd like to do as she's asked, considering she's the pregnant one here. So I'm just gonna stay quiet and leave this house for good, if that's all right with you.
You can't do something as sad as that. There's no reason for you to leave the house.
But in all honesty, the plan was only for me to stay here with you this year, right? The only reason I was requested to come and live with you is because your husband had that bad fall and you needed help around the house while he was being cared for. So we agreed that I'd stay for a year or until things started to settle down for you.
That's true.
And well, your husband ended up recovering a lot faster than we were expecting, right? He's doing so well that he no longer needs to go to the hospital or be cared for. I feel as though you both don't really need my help anymore, so this would be a perfect opportunity for my husband and I to leave now.
I understand all of that, but I don't want you guys to leave. We'd be lonely without you here. Of course, you helped us out quite a lot while living in our house with us, but I found that you were very fun and relaxing to have living here.
And this was all fun for me as well. Deep down, I was really hoping to continue living with you guys forever in this house.
What? Is that so?
But as of right now, Nora's the one who needs to be taken care of the most.
I get that, but you don't have to leave the house just because she's asking you to. Who cares that she's asking you to leave because you work at the hospital? I mean, if you've enjoyed living in our house as well, then there's really no reason you should have to leave. We have plenty of rooms in this house, so please stay with us some more. I want both you and our son to continue living here, please.
What? Are you sure that that's all right with you?
Of course. I'll talk with Nora about all of this. I'm sure she's just a bit too nervous at the moment since it's her first time being pregnant. So as long as all of this is fine with you, then you are more than welcome to keep living in our house.
Thank you so much, Hazel.
You've done a great job of making my mom join your team. I had to hear from my mom that she doesn't want you and my brother out of the house. What the hell do you have against me, Abigail? I guess I can't trust you anymore, can I?
What?
I'm sure you told my mom to say no to kicking you out of the house, right? Perhaps you bribed her in some way? I never thought that a woman in your position would do something so crazy.
Wait a second, please. What is going on right now?
Huh?
I'm sure you're upset right now because I'm not having to leave your parents' house, right? I already tried telling your mom about how we'd be leaving the house and the reasons for that. But she was the one that told us to stay. I never bribed her or anything like that to let us stay at the house any longer.
Then you must have been screaming and crying for her to say no to what I was asking until she finally gave in. Damn, I really hate myself for this. I never thought you'd turn out to be such a thorn in my back, Abigail. Although for the longest time now, I knew there was something off about you. The moment my dad needed help at home, both you and my brother barged into their house and set up camp there. I'm sure you're both there so that you can get all their money in the house from them when they pass away, right? I guess my hunch was right then, and there really has been something off about you.
Would you stop saying such crazy things like that about us? You also happen to be at fault for my husband and I having to come back to live with your mom and dad. So what makes you think you have the right to say things like that to me?
Huh? I'm also at fault for that?
When your dad had that bad fall and needed more people to come take care of him, you just kept on making excuses so that you never had to move back in with your parents or help your dad out. And then you just stopped talking to your mom and dad completely for a few months. That's why your brother and I ended up having to move back here and help take care of your mom and dad. Yet now you're going to start making the claim that we're only here for your parents' money? That's very screwed up of you, Nora.
I never ran away from them. At the time, I really did have a lot going on. I was thinking the moment things calmed down for me, I'd go see my mom and dad and help out.
But it's almost been 2 years now, and there's not been a single day where you've come to help us out. You've been that busy?
That's right, I have been that busy. I've been home taking care of my husband, who is always having to travel for work. But I never once thought that my dad would get better sooner than I would be able to get some free time. I had wanted to help him out so badly. I am happy he's doing better again, but I also feel a little left out.
The only reason he got better so soon is because your mom and I did so well supporting and caring for him.
Huh? Caring for him? All you did was go over to their house to live there. I'm sure the only caring you ever did there was when my mom yelled at you to get off your butt and help out.
What did you say?
Well, I'm sorry to say, but you're not allowed to sit around at my parents' house any longer. Starting now, I'm coming back to live with them before I give birth to my first baby. And then once I have my baby, it will be their first grandchild, and they'll never bother with you or my brother ever again. That will be the end of you trying to usurp the throne and take all my parents' money.
Huh?
There's no reason you should be able to live with your in-laws any longer. I honestly thought that the moment my dad got better and no longer needed any help, my mom would have kicked you out of there. Yet for some reason, you've become good friends with my mom. I was starting to get worried that you'd be able to live there with my parents forever. But as you'll see, I'll get my way and be able to live in that house with them because both my parents would rather have their actual daughter living with them. Especially when she's so cute and is about to give them a grandbaby. I'm just going to have to remind them of who I am compared to you is all.
Wait a second. Are you trying to tell me the real reason you're coming home to live with your parents is because you've been afraid of me living with your parents for the rest of their lives?
I'm not just afraid of you living with them forever, but you getting a hold of their money after they pass away. I'm sure you thought that by going to them while my dad was in trouble, they would feel indebted to you and would later give you their money, right? Well, I'm not going to allow that to happen. After having my cute little baby around them, they will notice who really deserves to inherit all their things. They will want to give all their money and everything to me after I show them a beautiful little grandchild.
Your brother and I have never cared about what we've been inheriting from your parents. We just moved in with your parents because your mom needed help taking care of your dad.
Well, they don't need your help anymore, so you should be fine leaving their house for good, right? However, you are continuing to use my mom against me by having her say no to kicking you both out, and that's pissing me off. You are just continuing to ignore what I tell you, even though I'm the one carrying a baby. Also that you can keep living with my parents and get everything from them. This is all because you want their money, their house, and everything else they'll leave in the will.
Why do you think that's the case?
Well, you guys are doing everything in order to stay in their house, and that's because all you can think about is my parents' money, right? However, I'm not letting you guys get anything from them. Not only will I be completely stressed out by having some dirty, germ-ridden woman living in the same house as me, but I'll be scared of whatever else you might end up doing to me. I want the money-stealing, parasitic, house-squatting witch to get out of that house right now. Then we'll be leaving this house as well. What? I never thought that the goal for you coming home to us pregnant would be that. You think that by showing us a cute little grandchild we'll give you all our money after we pass away? Who the hell would want to take care of some selfish little baby of a daughter like that while she gives birth to a child? If you really want to be in our house that badly before you give birth, then go right ahead and live there all by yourself. But while you're around, your father and I are going to leave the place and find somewhere else to stay. Your father and I? What? Is that really you, Mom? Why are you talking to me all of a sudden? That's because I'm here with my precious little Abigail right now. And as I've been here with her, she's looked so upset as she looked at her phone, typing away on it. I was worried about what was going on there, so I ran over and had a look for myself at what she was reading. What? And lo and behold, I had to see my daughter trying to kick my daughter-in-law out of my house once again. I've had enough of that rude behavior you love to cling on to. If that's how you're going to act at that age, then your father and I are leaving this house with Abigail as well. Enjoy supporting yourself in this empty house just before giving birth. Huh? I would never come back to your guys' house to be cared for if neither of you are going to even be there. You and Dad have to be there to care for this baby and I. Is that right? We have to care for our daughter, who never bothered to come back home and care for her father while he was injured? You can't help but run away from caring for others, but the moment you need help, you expect everyone to just stick around? We really messed up when we raised such a self-centered daughter, didn't we? About that. For a while now, your father and I have been suspicious of you, Nora. The moment you graduated high school, you just left the house without telling anyone. And when it came time for you to get married, you didn't tell any of your family and just went ahead and handed in the paperwork. When you suddenly came out of nowhere after all these years of avoiding us and asked to come home to have your baby, we knew something was up. And guess what? The only reason you want to come home and have us care for you while you're pregnant is so that you can get closer to our money. Your father and I are disheartened by that. Disinherited about what? Why would you feel that way about me? The only reason I brought up your guys' money was as a joke. A joke, all right? It was a way of trying to mess with Abigail a little bit, perhaps. So would you stop worrying about that? just look forward to me coming home and caring for me. I'm sure both you and Dad want to see your daughter and the grandchild she'll be giving you both, right? Nope, not at all. We don't ever want to meet either of you, nor even see you. We don't care anymore about some witch who thinks she could kick out two very important people in our family like you were doing. Huh? Abigail isn't a part of our family. She's just some stranger that your no-good son brought in. Why are you on her side still calling her important? Nora, the only stranger right now would be you. You got married to another man and took his name, giving up the place you once had here. What? Asking our daughter-in-law to leave our house when you're not even our daughter anymore is a bit ridiculous. Remember back when you got married? You told your father and I that you were with his family and would no longer need anything from us again, right? So please go and ask his parents to take care of you as you have that baby. That's... And when it comes to Abigail, she chose to be a part of our family here, so she is the most important person to us right now. She might not be related to us by blood, but she's married to our son, making her our daughter. We feel it's like we traded one daughter for another back when she married your brother. That's the reason why I love having her live here with us and will do anything for her. We've both done very well living in this house together, and she never seems to be upset by anything we do. But then there's you, who seems to think they can just barge back into our house after being away for so long and kick out our precious little girl. What is this? Why are you upset at me? I may have gotten married, but I'm still your guys' daughter. Well, we don't want a daughter that calls another part of the family parasites and tells them to leave. I want you to become well aware of just how much of an idiot you are after today. Abigail, I am so sorry about what happened with Nora yesterday.
Don't be sorry for that. Seeing you get that upset with her was more than enough. Also, hearing her talk about how much you think of me as your true daughter made me so happy. But what are we going to do from here on out? I really feel like it would be best if we stopped living with the both of you.
Well, about that, Abigail, you really don't have to leave the house. My husband and I will be the ones leaving instead.
What?
Oh, but that will only be for a little bit, you'll see. I talked with him about what to do after we had to tell Nora goodbye. And, well, we'd both love to get away for a bit to somewhere nice and warm. So we're thinking of getting a place down in Florida.
Florida?
My husband was talking to his work about how he'd like to retire soon. And after an hour of talking, they settled on him retiring next year with a pretty decent package. So, since we'll be getting a few more months before the official retirement date, we were thinking we'd take things easy. You know, get a breather or two in before the next big move. And, well, that led to us thinking a trip in Florida at a condo would be really nice.
That sounds like a wonderful plan. You both have done a lot in your life, and I feel like you deserve a couple months down there taking things slowly. I think you both made the perfect choice right here.
We had actually been thinking about this for a little bit now. With Nora trying to force her way back into the family, we thought it might be better to just move away for those few months to Florida so that we could avoid her.
I see.
But now that it seems she won't be a problem for us anymore, you can go ahead and enjoy our house while we have fun in the warm sun. This will also give you and our son some time to think about what the both of you want to do next.
Are you talking about us choosing whether or not we want to continue living with you both or getting our own place again?
That's right. If you'd like to stop living here in our house, then you'll have to prepare quite a few things in order to move out, right? You'll have to find a new home and get ready to pack all your things up. I think all that would go a lot more smoothly if my husband and I were out of the house for a while.
Thank you so much for thinking about the both of us as well, but the both of us would love to continue living with you guys. So you really don't need to worry about us any longer and can go enjoy the next few months you have in Florida.
What? So you both really want to continue living with us?
Of course we do. If anything, I should be the one asking you to continue letting us live in your house, right?
Oh, you don't have to ask me for that. I'm so happy to hear that from you. We'll be able to continue on with the life we've all been living here.
We'll be waiting for you two to come back home while you're out of the state. Now please enjoy that condo you both get, and take all the time you need to unwind.
What is going on here? Did my mom and dad really leave their house?
What?
I was thinking now was the time to forcefully get myself into that house and have them care for me and the baby. Yet after opening up the door, it really looks like they both got up and left this house for good. Hey, do you have any idea where they ran off to?
Your mom and dad are in Florida right now. To get away from you while you're going completely insane, they left town and went to spend some time on a condo there.
Huh? They're in Florida?
Your brother and I have also taken a few days off to come here with them, although we'll be coming back soon and getting back to work. Your parents, however, will be here for the next few months, taking it easy and avoiding you.
You guys are with them right now, then?
After they got here and found their condo, they invited us to come down as well. It's been a while since we've all gotten to spend time on vacation, so my husband and I packed our things and took off the next day. They're even paying for a whole trip here as a thank you for always being around them.
So you're all in Florida right now? I came all the way to this house to have my baby, though.
Well, thank God we left yesterday to make it here. Had we run into you before we were able to get to Florida, things would have been a lot more difficult for us.
What the hell? You come back here right now and take care of me. I don't even care about my mom and dad anymore. I want you here doing everything for me.
There's no way I can make it back there right now, and honestly, I don't want to. I'd rather not take care of someone who's sick like you are.
Shut the hell up. You really think you can turn away your sister-in-law like that? I will not let you talk to me like that again. Then what about your own mother telling you to F off? What? My cute little daughter is not going home for you, and she most definitely will not be caring for your lazy butt. You really are such a failed child. I guess you didn't learn a damn thing since the last time we talked. Why are you here again? Why are you always on her side? I told you already that everything about your money was all a joke. I just wanted to come home to you guys and have my baby. I just wanted for you and Dad to take good care of me and the baby once it's born. No matter what you try and say to me now, all I hear is you whining about how you want your parents' money and labor. But luckily, your father and I have made our choice. We will never be going back to do anything for you ever again. No way! Now, we have a boat to ride. I would really like that you stop getting in the way of my family's fun trip here in Florida.
I heard that after Hazel told Nora to F off, she ended up leaving her parents' house and going back to her own house. When she made it back there, her husband then recommended that she go stay with his parents instead. Then he wouldn't have to worry about her and could continue with his business trips. After that, he then took her with him back to his parents' house to drop her off before going back home. Nora never said anything against going to have the baby at his parents' house, and so she stayed there all the way up until after she gave birth. As for Hazel and her husband, they ended up sending a letter to Nora's husband's parents saying that they were thankful for taking on Nora like that. They also sent a box of treats from Florida as a way of showing just how thankful they really were. I'm not sure how Nora will take seeing her parents send her husband's parents a whole thing of snacks as thanks for taking care of her, but I'm sure someday we'll hear about the reaction. When it comes to my husband and myself, just a week after arriving down in Florida to spend time with his parents, we headed back home so that we could get back to work. At first, we were a bit worried to find out if Nora had left the house in a state of chaos after she went in there looking for her parents, but it was actually left pretty clean. That was unexpected for the both of us, considering Nora has always acted like a selfish child. But I suppose that final blow from Hazel really shut her down. Let's just hope that by the time Hazel and her husband are back there, Nora doesn't do anything else to us. Although that probably won't ever happen again since Nora's in-laws have her in their hands now.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
You've got to be seriously kidding me right now. You've completely sunk your jaws into my older brother, haven't you? What on earth do you think you're playing at? Huh? Haley, what are you talking about? I haven't got a clue, to be honest. I went to all the trouble to go over to my brother's house and hang out with him, and then I see my brother making food. That's not his job to do that. You should be the one who cooks and makes the food for the household. You're the one who's the wife, not my brother. Stop making him do things that he shouldn't be doing. Okay. First of all, he's in charge of the household and he does whatever he can to help out. He's actually very good at cooking, so he likes cooking dinner for us. And he decided to take that responsibility on as his job allows him to work from home. Are you kidding me? That's not how it should work. Just because he works from home doesn't mean he has free time, right? It doesn't matter if you work at home or in the office. He still works hard and shouldn't have to do any housework. In fact, it's quite difficult between switching from an office job to also doing housework. You should be the one taking care of the house. Yeah, you've made your point, Haley. I know what you mean, but I've got a long commute. It would be more efficient if Nick did all the housework as he's around more often. Instead of me doing that, I pay for all the living and food expenses. I don't get why you're always coming at me. You've got some kind of beef with me, obviously. Let's just show your beef with me was ranked top of the charts, and of course it's delicious to have. You're just such the jokester, aren't you, Selena? Thinking that you can make fun of me? So what, you're only just going to get carried away with all the living expenses, so my brother is left with nothing. My brother really threw his life out the window by marrying such an old hag like you. I guess it's just a normal thing for you only parting out for the living expenses, isn't it? What are you even talking about? Since I'm coming over, it's only natural for you to stuff your face full of food. Of course, I'm your husband's sister after all. It's fine to be anxious. But it's just common courtesy to treat me with some respect, though. Me treating you with some respect? Are you kidding me? You do realize that you just called me an old hag before. I don't see what's so wrong with calling an old woman an old hag. You're just about 6 years older than my brother after all, so the old hag and my brother did get married, you see. I wouldn't get too carried away with getting much support as a wife. You're responsible for all the living expenses and the housework. Are you serious? You think that I'm going to take all of the responsibilities on by myself? But you're completely making a mockery out of my brother. You do realize that, right? For today's meal, we'll have my brother cooking the meat, all right? You'll just smile and eat the meat like you're supposed to. It's not always like this, okay? It's just a rarity for him to cook for everyone. But, well, it's almost always like this, though. He's the one that cooks. I want us to eat freshly made food, and so it's important to sit down and eat first. Are you kidding me? It's always like this at your house? If that's the case, then I'm going to be checking on you every day until things change. I'll keep a close eye on you so that you're not using my brother for everything. It's not fair on him. Wait, what? You're going to keep an eye on me? Don't you think that's too much? Nope, it's just necessary. From now on, I'm going to come by your house every day and eat dinner until I see some change. My brother is to never make dinner again, as it's not his responsibility. You're going to be the one cooking for my brother and me as well. You're to stand and wait in the kitchen until we've finished every last bite of our meals. I intend to teach you the right way to be a wife, since you obviously have got no idea how. But that's just not going to work out. No matter how fast I try and leave work, I'm never home before 8 o'clock at night. And you're saying that I'm the one who should be cooking every meal? Well, all you've got to do is try harder at being a good and obedient wife and make food for my brother. At least try and be home around 5 so you can cook food. If you're any kind of wife, your family should be more of a priority than the work you're doing. But my work isn't going to allow me to come home early, and they know Nick's at home to do things for me. I don't care. Be a decent wife for my brother. When I'm finished my college classes for the day, I'll come straight over to your place. In addition, I'll be checking that you're doing the cleaning and laundry along with the cooking. I'm going to test you if you're actually a suitable match for my brother. I'm going to do a thorough inspection of you, Selena. Nick, I need to talk to you. I was wondering if you could talk to Haley. It's about her coming over to our house. She needs to stop coming every day. It's stressing me out. I'm surprised at how much she consumes, and it's costing us a lot to feed her as well as us. Above all else, she keeps calling me to hurry up and get home to do chores.
Oh, Selena. I'm really sorry about that. I've told her so many times to not interfere with my marriage, but she doesn't listen. She says it's for my own good, that she's inspecting you. That's why she's not listening to me and is telling me to stop spoiling you.
It's obvious that Haley has a thing for you, and that's why she's always trying to slot herself into our lives. I never thought that this would happen, even after we got married. I thought I was allowed to marry you because you and the rest of your family accepted me.
It seems that Haley doesn't acknowledge us as being married at all. She doesn't accept that we're together. I was told by her that it's not too late to go and marry someone else.
Are you for real? She said that to you? She has some guts saying that.
It seems she doesn't really get the fact that I'm in charge of the housework. I wanted to be in charge, and it works well for us. She seems to think that you wanted to marry because you wanted to make me your housekeeper, or something ridiculous like that.
You've got to be kidding me. You're my husband. I never want that for you. Honestly, I was thinking of hiring someone to do our cleaning. It must be really hard for you to balance work and the housework at the same time.
No, it's not difficult for me at all. I enjoy getting the break from work to do housework. It's relaxing. Even though I don't earn much for us and have a lot of free time, I don't see any need for us to hire someone to clean our house. I'm sorry, but I can't let you do that. I can handle it all just fine. And if I can't, I'll tell you.
What? Really? Are you sure? I really don't mind if you're struggling with that, but if you're fine doing it, I won't.
I just feel bad that I'm not doing as much as I thought I'd be doing with becoming a freelancer. I thought I'd be piled up with actual work. I never expected my income to drop so much. It makes me feel bad. That's why I feel like I've accomplished more in the day when I've got housework to do. Please don't take that job away from me as well. I've got this.
I did notice that you were stressing out about the drop in income. I'm telling you now, I'm working as well, so you don't need to worry too much about the money you earn.
But it makes me feel like I'm not doing anything productive for us. Even though I'm younger than you, my income has decreased a lot. I'm really sorry for being such a hopeless husband. I feel like you can't rely on me at all. It's also because of me that Haley has misunderstood our situation, what you do for us.
I just thought that her and I would just get along, but I've just got no idea how I can do that. I guess I don't have a choice but to act more like a wife and do what she's told me to do if I want to get on her good side. But anything I try and do at home, I can't live up to your standards of cleaning, folding, and cooking.
You don't have to be good at everything you try and do. I'm here to help you. Also, she's got no idea how much I earn and doesn't have a right to tell you what to do. I mean, I'm just a low-earning freelancer. Let me explain to my sister that you're the breadwinner and working really hard for us. Also, I should probably mention about Haley's tuition fees.
Huh? Why do we need to talk about her school fees for?
I feel like that's something we need to discuss, right? Both my parents passed away at an early age. As the older brother, I should be the one to pay for Haley's school fees. But I never expected that I'd fail at being self-employed, so I should tell Haley that it's actually you who's paying for her schooling, and maybe she'll back off from you.
No way. You can't tell her that, Nick. I'm telling you now to keep that a secret to yourself at all costs. Do you understand?
But I don't get it. Why do I have to keep it a secret? If I tell her you've been paying out for it, then she'll change her view about you. In fact, I think you should be the one to tell her the position you're in.
But I don't think it's a good idea to say anything. I'm not really paying for her tuition out of the kindness of my own heart. I just didn't want you to feel bad about all the expenses you had to part out for her and feel how bad I felt as well. Like you, I lost my parents at a young age. I had a hard time going to college without any scholarships or allowances from my parents. There are just some hardships that are better left unsaid. No one needs to know about those payments. It's like I'm paying without permission.
But Selena, you've given so much to me and my sister.
Besides, I want Haley and I to be equals, not higher or lower than the other. Even though we are in-laws, we're sisters as well. If there was a lot of money involved, I'd be strangely reserved and wouldn't know how to get along with them. I want Haley and I to have a relationship without any reservations. I want a sister of my own as well. Therefore, we'll make it look like you're the one who's paying for her tuition, okay?
Are you sure? If you want to do that, we can. I'm sorry, I just want everyone to get along and maybe saying something might change her mind about you.
It's okay, don't worry too much about it. Let's hope we can convince Haley to be more friendly to me. No matter what, I can't get home from work any earlier than I do now. I don't have time to make a lot of food for Haley. It would be helpful if you took charge of the housework and the cooking if I don't make it home in time.
Of course, that's not a problem. I'll do my best to take care of all the errands. I'm also working hard with my job as well as the housework. I'll open up more businesses and get more work for myself. I'll show you someday that I'll be able to pay for my sister's tuition all by myself.
I look forward to seeing how hard you work, but don't overdo it too much. I still want a functioning husband at the end of the day. Well, what did you think would happen, Selena? I just filed the divorce papers between you and my brother. With this happening, my brother should finally be freed from your grasp. I won't let my brother be in love with you anymore. What the heck, Haley? What divorce papers? What are you talking about? Don't do anything hasty, Haley. Why would you do this to me right now? This is all your fault, Selena. Good thing the lock's been changed. That's why you can't get back inside the house. Nick changed the lock all on his own. No matter how many times I told you to stay away, you still came by every day. It's not like I didn't give you any instructions. I'm not the one who's lying through their teeth. You are the one that's been bossing my older brother around like some kind of pet. You told him not to let his troublesome sister in the house, and he was too scared not to obey, so you've just made him your puppet. If I'm there, you can't treat my brother like a housekeeper. I don't treat him like a housekeeper in the first place, Haley. My brother is so kind, has good housework skills, and is the best man. What's more, he has quit his outstanding job at a large company to be a freelancer, and this is how you treat him? An old hag like you sticks to my brother like a parasite. You need to release my brother and leave our family alone. So, as a last resort, I filed divorce papers on your behalf. What do you mean that I'm a parasite stuck to Nick? That's so wrong. It's not like I'm dependent on him. We complement each other's weakness and get along well. Really? You think I'm going to believe any of that crap? Are you being serious right now? We all know you suck the youth out of my brother and put him to work all the time. What do you even mean by that? You've got no idea how things are run around here. If I was my brother, I would dump you and marry a different woman who is wonderful and does what my brother says. But because you're such a parasite, we can't escape you. My brother is the kindest man on this planet. I'll be the one to throw you out if my brother can't do it, but it's all okay now since I filed the divorce papers. My big brother can finally escape from his parasite of a wife. We've been unable to communicate about this issue. I can't believe this has gone so out of control because of your assumptions about me. Oh, shut up, you old hag. I don't need to hear this. You're to no longer be called my brother's wife. I'll make you disappear. So you don't think your brother isn't a parasite? Huh? What do you mean? Even though I've got a big heart, I'd be furious if someone were to file divorce without my permission. When things like this happen, I've got no choice but to tell you everything that's going on. What the heck are you talking about? What do you mean by everything? I mean, I'm not the one who's treating my older brother like a parasite. That would be you. But now he's able to live off the money I make. I'm not the one who's a parasite, Haley. What? I don't get what you mean. I'm sure Nick could have married a more beautiful woman that obeys him. Of course, to a girl who's younger and prettier than me. But now he can't live without me in his life. That's why he can't marry another woman, even if he really tried to not love me. I do wonder what to call this situation if I'm not the parasite here. Whoa, okay, just hang on a minute, okay? What's wrong with my brother living off your earnings? My brother is a successful freelancer. You both earn a lot of money. He's made a lot of money by starting his own company and leaving his other job. I'm sure that income is more than double what it used to be. He's using my money because his freelancing job isn't going so well. He's earning half the income that he earned at his previous job. He's more dependent on me now to earn money for the family. What? That can't be. How can he be dependent on you? It's true, Haley. He said that work is harder to come by than he expected it to be. He's doing his best in sales, but don't you think he's too kind? That's why he gets haggled to only paying the lowest price for his services. So it doesn't lead well into the next job he does. To be honest, his income hasn't increased at all. Are you for real? He's earning pennies for all his hard work? This isn't fair. That's why he can't live without me, because I part out a lot for us. I pay for all the living expenses and taxes. Sometimes I even help him out when he gets into debt or takes too much from his overdraft. But my brother's the one paying for my school tuition. Since my parents are no longer around, he's taken over in their place. He's been paying for my fees for quite a long time. It's impossible for my brother to have such a small income and still pay my fees.
That's right. I didn't have enough money to pay for your schooling, so she's been the one helping pay for you. Actually, she paid for all of your tuition.
Wait, you're the one who's been paying my fees? Wait a minute, is that you, Nick?
And yet, what did you do for me, Haley? I can't believe that you filed a divorce between Selena and I without telling us. Did we even ask you to do that at all? Did I ask you to release me from this family? Why would you do such a selfish thing to someone who's been trying to help you?
I've only been thinking about what's best for you, my brother. I've only been used to you being in my grasp, not another woman's. Even though she's your wife, she's making you do almost everything at home and leaving it all up to you. That's not your job, it's a woman's job. I definitely thought that he was suffering under your command.
And whose idea was it that the housework should be done by the wife? Your ideology is so archaic, Haley. You're just a student. So why are you being so stubborn and acting like this toward me?
I'm just looking out for my brother. Are you really not the one paying for my schooling? Is it actually her?
Yes, she's been paying for you to go to school. Since I failed to become more independent, I couldn't wait to show her this side of me. But she wanted to remain kind to you and try to pay for all of your tuition by herself.
Oh, is that how it went down then?
What's more, I asked you to think about my feelings in all of this, and this is what you do to me. She's a lovely and kind-hearted person. I've been very lucky to have married a woman like her. But because of you, it's completely ruined. How on earth will you take responsibility for this?
What? I don't know how. I was just trying to protect you from her. I never thought something like this would happen.
If you don't take responsibility for what you've done, I wouldn't bother showing your face in front of us ever again. I don't want to see your smug face in front of me or my wife.
But what for? I hardly did anything wrong. It was all just a misunderstanding, that's all.
You should be the one to repay back the tuition that she paid for. Whatever you do, even if it's just a loan, it'll definitely be repaid. That's the least you can do for me, as I looked out for you since our parents died. Other than that, I've got no intention of having anything to do with you anymore.
Now, please, just wait a minute, Nick. It sounds like you're wanting to cut me out of the family. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not just wanting to do that. I'm going to do that so we don't have you ruining anything more in our marriage. I've said this so many times already. I want nothing to do with you anymore. I tried and I tried, but I'm done.
What does this mean?
Don't show your face at my house ever again. I should have done this a while ago. Enjoy life by yourself, little sister.
No, Nick, please. You can't do this to me. You're all I've got. Don't leave me alone. I later found out that the divorce papers were not filed properly. Thanks to the government's response, the general rule is that they don't accept submission by anyone other than the people involved with the divorce. So it seems that the divorce wasn't accepted by the courts. However, Nick had no intention on forgiving Haley for what she's done. From now on, it seems that he'll not provide her with any assistance other than her school fees. He's also ordered her to repay the debt for submitting divorce papers without our permission. With that, she started to work part-time at a bar to pay it off. In order to not get on her brother's bad side any more than she has, I hear that she's working hard on her studies and paying off the money she owes him. The kinder people are, the more angry they get when you betray them. Nick said that no matter what happens, he won't interact with her anymore. and that's what he'd do for the rest of his life.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.
How much of an airhead are you there? After all this work trying to get you to notice that your husband has been cheating on you, yet you still are not noticing a bit of it. Are you a failure of a woman or something? Who is it that I'm speaking to right now? I believe that you have the wrong person right now. I do have the right person, though. I have been going out with your husband for the past year now. And today, I wanted to talk with you, his wife, about it, and tell you what's been going on. You're telling me that for a year now you've been with my husband? If that's your response, then you really had no clue about it, did you? Hadn't you noticed a year ago that your husband was having to work a lot more? And more recently, he's been having to take a lot of business trips and such, right? Well, all of that was a lie. He was lying to you about that, calling it all work when he was really coming over to my house. Excuse me? This is it. This right here. This is the kind of reaction that I was wanting to get out of you. Can you tell me what the hell your plan is here, though? For a woman who says she's been with my husband this whole time, to come out and say all of that with such confidence. Well, this is the most entertaining way for me to get the news across to you. And seeing how long it would take for you to figure things out, or rather not figure things out, at all about us was also a thrill. Yet for some reason, you really didn't notice a single thing about what your husband and I had been doing, which got really boring really quickly. Having to love a man when the thrills started to really die out wasn't fun for me at all, you know? And that's why this time I decided it was time to tell you. Huh? I had been purposefully dropping an earring or two in his car, as well as things like some cosmetics of mine. And I made sure that he didn't do anything to try and hide all those things from you, yet you still weren't catching on. I wanted to date your husband having the knowledge that his wife knew about it the whole time. I see. You have the type of character that I don't seem to understand one bit. So, how are you feeling now after that news flash, huh? You must be pretty sad to hear that the husband you love so much was cheating on you, right? Or are you heartbroken right now being a woman whose husband wanted to cheat on her? Could you be as pale as a ghost right now because of the panic I've induced? About how I'm feeling. All I can say is I'm tired of having to listen to someone like you right now. Huh? I feel sorry for the man who thought it was a good idea to date such a childish woman as yourself. If he was going to cheat, at least do it with a smarter and more mature woman than you. If you really enjoy things that give you a thrill, maybe do something more invigorating like a bungee jump or skydiving. I think those things will bring you a lot more excitement without having to pay as much for them. Huh? And by the way, having to lay your hands on another woman's man to feel a thrill is a bit sad. Aren't you a bit exhausted after all that time you spent having to be with another woman's man? It's like you have some kind of sickness if that's the kind of route you were willing to take for joy. I'd hurry up and see a doctor about that mental problem you have. Actually, one of my close friends happens to be a therapist. If you'd like me to, I can introduce you to her and see what she can do to help. Well, what the hell is all this? What's wrong with you? You were just told about how your husband has been cheating on you with me this whole time. There's no way you should be trying to console me over all of this now. How can you be so calm at a time like this anyway? And what makes you think you can make fun of my mental health like that? I was never making fun of your mental health. I just happen to be a bit worried about the kind of person you are. I really do believe that you should be taking that issue you have seriously and see someone about it immediately. I am not going to be treated like some sick person. What the actual hell is this? This isn't the kind of reaction I thought I'd be getting from you at all. I wanted to see you crying over this or getting all worked up over what I had to tell you. But now I'm the one feeling all worked up and disgusted by the kind of person you are. Oh, is that so? Well, I'm sorry about that. But I'm not really into hobbies like cheating on other people and making others upset. You came out trying to have another thrilling time, but ended up feeling sick now. Shut the hell up, you loser. I'm sure you're just trying to act tough right now is all, which is pretty sad of you considering you just heard that your husband was cheating on you for a year now. I am not going to let you have a fun time with me now that you're supposed to be the loser here. I'm going to make you pay for this one now, you asshole.
Long time since we last talked, Brooklyn. I have something I've been wanting to ask you, actually. Do you have a moment to talk with me right now?
Oh, hey, Clifford. Been a while, hasn't it? I think the last time we actually were talking to one another was last year, right?
It's been a long time, it seems, right? But I guess that was just a little over a year ago now, back when we had the memorial for my brother. I can't believe it's been 3 years since he passed away now.
Right. Time has really flown by on us, hasn't it? So anyway, what was it you wanted to talk about?
Actually, I was wondering if there's any money left over from my brother still. I think there is, and I wanted to know if you'd be all right with giving us half of that money.
What?
It's been 3 years now since he passed away, right? But you have still not gone out and found a job for yourself. That has to mean he left behind enough money to support you for 3 years, and that there must be a bunch more remaining, right? Considering he was my older brother, I'm sure he put in a lot of money making sure he had the best life insurance on himself, right?
Why exactly do you want half of the money he left behind for me? Are you in a bit of financial trouble or something?
That's right. Right now I'm in a very serious pickle when it comes to money. There are 3 kids now in my family, right? As they continue to grow older and older, they require for me to have more money. And that's led to our family finances being pretty rough. Considering the current recession we're going through, both my wife's and my income has gone down as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Which is why I kinda wanted to ask if you could help us out a little. Before my brother went and passed away in that car accident, he was always spoiling my kids. If you were to give us some of that money for his cute little nieces and nephews, I'm sure he'd be okay with it. If anything, he probably wants you using some of that money on them.
I'm sure. I mean, him and I never got around to having any kids of our own either. Because of that, he was always spoiling your 3 kids.
So, from now on, how about you send us $3,000 a month? I would hate to have you give us half of whatever you have left from him in one go, so if you could start sending us little by little every month, that would be great.
Hold on a second. You need $3,000 a month from me?
I'm sure you don't know about this, but kids take up a lot of the family finances. You're not struggling at all right now and have all that money from my brother, so why not, right?
I understand that I have some money left from him, but it's not as much as you think. I'm sorry, but I don't think I'm going to be able to help you out much.
What did you say?
The money he left me after that accident was something very important to me, and so I've planned to use it sparingly over the next decade or so. Another thing about me is I'm actually working from home right now, so I was never living without a job playing with his money all the time like you might have thought.
Are you kidding me? I was sure you still had around $500,000 or so from him. But you know what? If you're working right now, then you don't need his money at all, right? You should actually be giving me all of it, please.
What?
You should be more than capable of handling yourself with your own income, right? That means you have no reason to hang on to all of his money anymore. Don't you think you should be giving it to those in need?
Not at all. Why would you ever say something like that about what he's left me?
Am I really being that mean? Actually, I'm saying this partially for your sake as well.
What does that mean?
Well, as long as you hang on to his money, you're never gonna forget about him, right? You're still young, Brooklyn, so you need to move on and find yourself a new man. So in order to get you to do that, we can take that money from my brother off of you and use it up.
Stop saying things like that. I don't plan to ever get remarried, Clifford. I want to hang on to his memory he left for me and think about him for the rest of my life. I'm sorry, but you need to stop asking for it now.
What?
If you really need some help with your financial situation, I have a good friend that could give you some assistance there. Would you like me to get you guys in touch so that you can talk about how to fix the slump you're in?
I don't need to go through something as irritating as that. What the hell? I came here asking all politely and everything. You can't just keep all of his money to yourself like that.
How's it going? I'm sure that picture I sent to you just there has shocked your socks off, right?
I can't believe you'd send someone a picture of you on top of someone's husband having sex like this. This is the kind of picture that someone could use to get a very heavy settlement from you, all right? I can't believe you'd really do that to yourself.
If I knew it would be enough to allow you to get a settlement from me, I wouldn't have taken your husband in the first place. I just want to see what your face looks like as you're freaking out is all.
There's no reason for you to be wanting to see something like that from me, though.
You're really annoying when you try and act all level-headed like that, you know. That's why I said before that I was going to make you suffer one way or another. I bet that this time I've gotten on your nerve for sure, right? Seeing that husband that you've loved for so long letting me take him for a spin. I bet you're never going to be able to see him the same way again, right?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Huh?
Actually, I've been taking a really good look at this picture of you two. I never thought I'd see a man look so displeased with having a woman doing cowgirl on him. And for some reason, you're also looking like you're not enjoying it.
Huh? Stop trying to act like a tough guy here. Just suck it up and tell me right now how much it hurts to see your husband doing another woman. Start crying your eyes out right now and tell me how much it kills to see a picture of us two together.
I'm not acting like a tough guy, though. If anything, I'm feeling even more fed up with you as a person. It really makes me worry for mankind when there are people like you who don't care about the risk anymore and only want to see others hurt.
Excuse me?
Are you aware that if I held that picture as evidence and where to get a settlement from you, it could be for as much as $100,000? Did you really prepare for something like a settlement, all just to watch me cry a little? Actually, are seeing my tears and hearing me cry worth $100,000 to you? If that's how much my tears go for, I'm happy to hear that. I will try my best to start shedding some tears here, so let's start with $5,000 a tear, all right?
How dare you try and use this as a way to make money? Do you really call yourself his wife by doing that? What makes you think you can just sit there and take all of this when the woman your husband has been cheating on you with is actively making fun of you? I want you to start crying and begging me to stop right now.
You see, the thing is, my husband has been dead for 3 years now.
What?
So you can ask me to cry all you want, but I'm not going to be crying because I'm hurt. I'll be crying to make some of that sweat money you're going to give. And by the way, the man in that picture isn't my husband, so I'm really not sure what I should be getting upset about here.
Oh, what? Are you not Clifford's wife? But when he looked at his phone, he had you there, and behind your name in parentheses was the word wife.
So that's how Clifford has my name put down on his phone. Well, I happen to be his sister-in-law. In other words, I'm his older brother's wife.
What?
So, just to be sure, I'll say this one more time. I'm not his wife. You have had the wrong person this whole time, like I'd said at the start.
What?
But now, you have me thinking about how he's been cheating on his wife this whole time. I never thought the day would come where I'm seeing my brother-in-law completely naked having sex with a stranger. Now it's going to be a lot harder for me to look at him as family. I don't think the image of his small penis is ever going to be leaving my head.
You're joking. When did I make this mistake? I assumed that you were his wife this whole time.
Hey, don't worry, all right? I promise to go ahead and tell his wife next for you.
What?
I wouldn't want you to have to go through that whole performance you've done with me again. So I'll let her know that you've been with her husband and show her this very interesting picture as well. I'll make sure to tell her who you are as well. And I'll introduce her to a really good lawyer that I know as well for you.
Huh? Wait a second, please. Why would you be showing her to a lawyer, you know? Don't do anything unnecessary right now.
Did you know that Clifford's wife is a really close friend of mine? When my husband passed away, she was the one who stood closest to me, making sure everything was fine in my life. And that is why I'm not going to let you off the hook here. If you're going to go through all of that in order to make Clifford's wife feel bad, then at least be prepared for all the outcomes as well.
No way.
And now that you've got me involved in all of this due to your own mistakes, you're going to have to pay for that. Anywho, thank you for all this wonderful evidence.
Why did you tell my wife about me cheating on her? You could have just let that all go. How dare you do something so needless to me?
You were the one doing something so needless though, right? You have a wonderful wife with you who went and gave you 3 beautiful children. Yet you still went and cheated on her and your family.
Shut the hell up already. I was just cheating on her to have some fun. I never did it in order to ruin the family I had back at home.
But then, why was your girlfriend trying so very hard to destroy the family you say you love for you? I get that she mistook me for your wife, but she came at me wanting to create chaos.
I didn't think she was going to be such a pain in the ass for me down the road. God damn it. Why did things have to come to this? My wife is wanting to divorce me now, and she's going to take all 3 of my kids away.
That's what happens when you play stupid games. And it was you making her have to take care of all 3 of them by herself anyway, since you wanted to spend more time with your girlfriend.
Please help me out here. If you let your brother-in-law and his wife get a divorce, I'm sure that my brother up in heaven would be devastated, right? Can you please go and set my wife straight for me?
I'm sorry, but I already told her to get the divorce as quickly as possible.
Are you freaking kidding me? It's all because you went and opened your mouth to my wife that this is happening. Your 3 nephews that your husband spoiled are all going to lose their father now. Do you think it's okay to let that happen? If you're really my brother's wife, then you help me. You freaking help me. You help your husband's cherished little brother get out of this mess.
No. My husband cherished you so much, and that is why I won't allow his name to be associated with what you've become any longer. I'm sure if he was still around now, he would be in tears, learning about how his little brother became this thoughtless, cheating heathen. So I'm going to do what he would do, and make sure you take absolute responsibility for what you've done. I don't want you to become someone who will put shame on my husband's name.
No way!
Make sure you pay that settlement and child support to your wife, all right? That's all you're able to do now.
Shut your goddamn mouth, bitch! I'm being asked to pay a settlement of close to $50,000 right now, and then I'll have to pay child support for 3 kids? That's around $1,000 each every month! If this has to happen to me, then you're gonna pay for it all with the money my brother left behind!
You sure?
This all happened because you opened your damn mouth, right? That means this is all your fault!
Not true at all. The one who's to blame for that is your retarded girlfriend who couldn't keep her mouth shut about your relationship. And if you want to know who was to blame for all of this in the first place, that would be you. The one who went and cheated on his wife and 3 kids. So screw off with that attitude towards me right now. I'm done here. If you even dare come back to me with more of your crap, I'm going to make you pay me a settlement as well.
This couldn't get any worse for me. Clifford doesn't even have a penny to his name right now. I was fooled by that asshole. I thought that Clifford would be a lot better than this. He was always taking me to those really expensive restaurants and dates and everything. And whenever it was a special event, he'd gift me with such fancy presents. He told me himself that he had enough money to take care of me with. But now he's telling me he has nothing in his savings and that I need to pay for a settlement to his wife as well. He's trying to make me pay for everything.
Really? He's not even able to pay that settlement?
He told me that all of his money is having to go to his wife in the divorce, thanks to his 3 kids he never told me about either, which means he doesn't have any money to pay the settlement now. Which doesn't even make sense when I told him I had all this debt, which he said he'd be able to pay off for me.
You're in debt? Then that would mean he wanted that money I received from his brother to help you pay that all off.
Wait, what?
A little while back, he came to me begging me for the money my deceased husband left me with. He told me that his finances back home were not great and asked me to support him. But then I went and spoke with his wife about it. She said they were totally fine financially and that he was just trying to scam me. They are both working anyway, and his wife is pulling in over $100,000 a year.
What? His wife is making that kind of money each year.
Which is why she said they didn't need the help. I'm sure now that Clifford just wanted it to help with your debt and pay for more dates. And based on the current recession, his income has taken a bit of a hit, but not his wife's income.
No freaking way. His income is in trouble now too?
Yeah, that's what his wife told me. She gave him some advice to change jobs and such, but he just kept fighting her over it, thinking that she had no place to talk down to him about his job. Even though she wasn't. Which is really sad to think about now because during that time, he probably was always yelling back at her because he was cheating.
No way! I really thought that he was working for this super large company making a lot of money there. He always told me he was making a lot every month and that he had hundreds of thousands in his savings. That's why I was serious about stealing him from his wife and didn't mind things like a settlement and such.
Well, to him, he was just into you for the fun of it.
No, I can't believe the man that told me he had so much money and loved me was lying. And to think he wanted to use his dead brother's money to cheat. He really is a pile of crap. Even someone like myself is shocked to hear that now.
But hey, can you make sure not to throw them out away now? To me, I think you both are meant for one another, belonging to the same dump and all. You would make for a great couple. Huh? So now that you've had this little chat, good luck with your boyfriend. Please make sure to support one another and to both take responsibility for all the trouble you've both caused. Now that will be all from me. Goodbye. In the end, both Clifford and Angela were asked to pay off their settlements in one lump payment, which they did. Thanks to the help of Angela's parents who lended her the money, they no longer had to worry about the settlements themselves. But her parents told Clifford that in return he was to marry their daughter, and both of their horrible selves would have to work together to pay them back. And just like that, they were both forced to get married to one another by her parents the very next day. And as of right now, they are both working on paying all of that money they borrowed back to Angela's parents, while giving the rest to Clifford's ex-wife for their children. As for his ex-wife, she happened to always be really close with his parents, and so after the divorce, she would move in with them, bringing along her 3 kids. Both of the in-laws have been doing what they can to help out with her and their 3 grandkids, while also letting her continue to work. And as for myself, living close to them, I'm always able to head to their house anytime to meet with those 3 nephews of mine, who really do remind me of my husband. As a widowed woman, I really am thankful for all the support my late husband's parents and my sister-in-law have given me.
Thank you for watching till the end. If you felt good about this video, like the video. If you didn't like it, let me know why in the comments. Subscribe too. Your likes and subs lead to our motivation. We have so many videos on our channel as well, so go ahead and take a look. See you in the next video.